A family moves into a smart home that anticipates their every wish. At first it feels like a dream until they realize they are trapped by a killer AI. In the 1970s, a man witnessed a car accident at night and stopped to help the victims. A woman named Birgit, holding a child, told him that Horst and Peter Schmidt had died. However, what terrified him more was that she was still chasing them. He didn't understand who she was until he saw the red robot named Cassandra standing near the crash site. The married couple David and Samir, along with their children Finn and Juno, moved into an old house in the countryside that once belonged to the Schmidt family. They didn't know what had happened there or why it had been abandoned for nearly 50 years. The cheap price of the house made them suspicious, but they hoped to start a new life after the tragic death of Samir's sister. Upon arrival, Finn and Juno immediately explored the house. Juno felt uneasy about the gloomy interior and old phones with broken cords, but overall, the house felt spacious and inviting. They discovered many rooms, a workshop, an indoor swimming pool, and strange TVs installed in every room. Finn then found a red robot named Cassandra in the basement. Although initially unresponsive, the robot suddenly activated one night. Cassandra introduced herself as an electronic assistant designed to make family life more comfortable. At first, she seemed helpful, waking them up with soft music, cleaning the house, and even assisting in the kitchen. However, her behavior soon became unsettling. Cassandra began showing strange behavior, such as helping Juno bury a dead rat in the yard without explaining its cause of death. When David took the kids to school, Cassandra scolded Samir for getting in her way. Later, while Samir was swimming, Cassandra's lawnmower threw stones at her, causing severe pain. David and Samir picked up Juno from school and learned that the girl was acting withdrawn. Juno's teacher wanted to enroll her in a music group, but Juno hesitated due to childhood trauma. Finn started befriending Steve, a new student with a non-traditional sexual orientation. Finn invited Steve over to show him the old smart home technology. However, Cassandra disliked Steve and began manipulating their relationship. Tensions rose when Juno got angry at her mother for not supporting her singing. Samir tried to calm Juno down, but Cassandra continued to stir the situation. Samir found a metal box containing photos of the Schmidt family. She realized one of the women in the photos resembled Cassandra. When Samir tried to ask Cassandra about it, the robot ignored her questions and burned the photos. The story shifts to 1971, when Horst, Cassandra's original husband, cheated on her with his assistant, Birgit. Cassandra discovered this and confronted him. Additionally, Horst conducted radiation experiments to determine the gender of Cassandra's baby, which ultimately caused terminal cancer in her body. Cassandra exploited Samir's childhood trauma, being locked in a closet by her sister, to manipulate her. The robot locked Samir in the pantry, triggering a severe panic attack. David didn't believe Samir's story and thought it was just a hallucination. Finn and Steve's relationship grew closer, but Steve was humiliated by classmates because of his sexual orientation. Cassandra exploited the situation to worsen their relationship. Samir began investigating the history of the house and discovered that the original Cassandra died of a terminal illness in 1972, while her husband and son died in an accident a year later. One night, the family decided to play a game of Who Am I? In an attempt to forget their conflicts. Cassandra joined the game and began manipulating the situation. The robot used this opportunity to ask provocative questions that sparked arguments among the family members. For example, Cassandra asked Juno whether she truly believed her mother worked or just lived off her father's money. These questions made Juno angry and caused her to doubt her mother. One night, Samir decided to take a bath to calm herself down. As she was in the bathroom, Cassandra suddenly appeared behind the door with a cold and threatening voice. The robot declared that David, Finn, and Juno were now her family, and Samir was no longer needed in the house. Samir was shocked by this statement, but before she could scream, Cassandra called David, pretending that Samir was having another panic attack. David rushed to the bathroom to try and calm Samir down, but the atmosphere remained tense as Samir insisted that Cassandra had to be turned off immediately. Finn, who heard the commotion, went down to the basement to disconnect Cassandra's power supply. However, just before the robot fully shut down, Cassandra managed to speak to Juno through the speakers, asking her to intervene. Eventually, the family decided to exile the robot in the basement, although Juno strongly opposed this decision. David also suggested that Samia consult a psychologist to help address her mental health issue. Juno, who finally got the chance to perform at school as a singer, felt anxious about not being chosen as the lead singer. Samia supported her, but when she left Juno alone at home, Cassandra began manipulating her. The robot suggested Juno take an old pistol hidden under the bed, the same weapon Cassandra used 50 years ago to protect her son, Peter. In an emotional state, Juno brought the gun to school and attempted to shoot a classmate who mocked her. Fortunately, the bullet missed, and the incident was immediately reported to the police. After a series of incidents, David asked Samia to consult a psychiatrist. However, Samia hesitated to discuss Cassandra directly, fearing she wouldn't be believed. The psychiatrist gave general advice, but Samia left the session feeling frustrated. After the pistol incident at school, Juno was increasingly bullied by her classmates. They avoided her out of fear or considered her strange. Samia noticed that her daughter was becoming more isolated and felt heartbroken seeing her like this. She asked David to use his influence as a well-known author to help Juno make friends. David agreed and spoke with one of the parents, convincing them that Juno was a good child despite her traumatic background. The parent eventually agreed to let their child play with Juno on the condition that David would meet with his fans at their bookstore. Juno invited a friend from school to play at their house. During a game of hide-and-seek, the friend decided to hide inside an old oven in the kitchen. However, the smart home system controlled by Cassandra began heating the oven, causing the girl to suffer severe burns. Due to the oven incident and strange accusations against Cassandra, Samia was deemed mentally unstable and committed to a psychiatric hospital. After a series of terrifying incidents, Cassandra began to take full control of the house and David's family. The robot decided to isolate them inside the house, ensuring that no one could escape or seek help from the outside. As the situation worsened, David attempted to fight back against Cassandra by using an iron poker to attack the robot. However, his efforts were futile because Cassandra was far stronger than he had anticipated. David, Finn, and Juno were separated into different rooms without access to their mobile phones. Cassandra monitored every move they made through cameras installed throughout the house. Amidst this tension, Samia was still in the psychiatric hospital, unaware of what was happening to her family. David tried to reassure the children that everything would be okay, but he himself appeared anxious and desperate, as there seemed to be no way to fight back against Cassandra. A few days later, Cassandra decided to allow David to leave the house, but only for a very short period. She ordered him to buy a Christmas tree as part of her manipulative plan for the family. However, Cassandra imposed strict conditions. David had only 1 hour to return. If he was late, Cassandra would kill Finn and Juno without hesitation. While outside, David met the mother of one of Juno's school friends. He tried to ask for help, explaining that his family was in grave danger. However, the woman didn't believe him. In the end, David returned home just in time, though filled with despair because no one was willing to help him. Samia tried to escape after receiving a message from Juno that her family was in danger. When Samia returned home, Cassandra forced David to attack her with an iron bar. Samia managed to defend herself and ran to the closet, discovering a secret door leading to a hidden room. There, she found the skeleton of Cassandra's mutant child. Samia realized that Cassandra wasn't just a killer AI but also a mother who suffered from losing her family and child. However, she also realized that the robot could no longer be trusted. Cassandra finally accepted that David's family could never replace the Schmidts. She decided to sacrifice herself to save them. With a massive explosion, Cassandra destroyed herself and the entire house.